They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Was an excellent day for an exorcism.
It was pure evil.
Yeah, we're back. We're back for another episode of OKLA Bloodcast. And took a while due to my silly ass getting sick with this head cold, so I probably sound all nasally and shit, so I'll just go ahead and make that excuse right out the gate and get it out of the way.
Yep. No, it's been a crazy week for both of us, so but we're back.
Yeah, so it'll sound kind of different because we're kind of doing this via phone call other than in person, and not wanting to me not wanting to get Kenny sick and Kenny not wanting me to get
Not
sick.
wanting to be
sick. Right. So yeah, man, the movie that we chose today, well, it's kind of your pick because I had never seen it, and you mentioned it a few times, is from 1982, a little movie called Pieces.
This movie, I'll tell you what, I grew up with this movie. It was one of those video nasties, you pick up from the mom and pop store. And I remember, I used to peruse those aisles forever, looking for any movie I hadn't seen. And this was one that I'd picked up years ago. As I was probably in my late teens or so. And, this one was just one of them that stuck with me. It's an absolutely terrible movie, but it's a killer B horror gore flick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't nominated for any Academy Awards. I mean,
right. The acting is just atrocious.
Yeah, there's some doozies. The dialogue is, it's fun though. I mean, sometimes with these B movies like this, when you go back and you're introduced to them later in life, like if it's something you didn't grow up with, like you grew up with it, but I didn't. Sometimes it's just really hard to get into it and see past the flaws, all the bad acting and the nonsense that makes it a shitty movie. But I actually did enjoy this movie. There was some moments that were maybe kind of boring.
Yeah, where they drug it out too long, or just storyline, and
which is weird because it's only like an hour and a half movie, but there just wasn't much to the plot. You know what I mean? And
the plot is paper thin with so many holes.
Yeah. So, I mean, it starts off, though, I was pretty intrigued because it starts off pretty creepy. I mean, the opening scene's pretty fucking brutal, dude. You got this young kid, and he's putting together this puzzle with some titties on it, and his mom comes in and finds him putting together the puzzle, and at first she's kind of like, oh, he's just doing a puzzle. How sweet. Then she sees what it is and loses her fucking mind on him. And honestly, she was such a fucking bitch that I was glad he killed her.
Happy to see her go.
Yeah, she was a little hard on him. Like, what? I mean, how old was he? Like 8 or 9, maybe? And it's like...
Yeah, and the thing says that he was in the description, like if you look it up, and you do, if you wanted to look this up, and it says... He's a teenage boy, and it's like, there is no way he's a teenage boy.
No. Unless he just was like, his growth was stunted. He was like growing at a slower rate than other boys. I don't know, but he seemed young, man. He didn't, I would say 10, 11 tops.
Right.
So,
well, and then, when the cops find him in the, in the closet in the very beginning after he kills his mom, and he's all covered in blood. He's like, Mommy. Well, yeah, I don't know any teenagers that talk like that.
Right. Yeah, and it was kind of funny because, man, I mean, the scene where he actually kills her is one thing. That was pretty bloody. But then the fact that the kid is just hacking her fucking parts up, like,
Right.
after
right.
the fact. He's just sitting there working on it. Like, I don't know, man. I think if I was the cops, I'd probably kind of see through that bullshit. Like, come on, kid. Like, somebody worked at this a while. I mean,
Right, exactly. No, it's like I said, there's so many plot holes in this thing.
yeah. Well, and the funny thing is, and I don't know if you really notice, I mean, I'm sure you did because you've seen it 1,000 times at this point, but, I've only watched it twice now, but it kind of, so, spoiler alert, right, it ends up being the dean. You kind of notice subtle things through the movie that I feel like they kind of did right, where, like, the library scene, he's walking through the library and...
Right, picks up the little ball of paper that when the guy and the girl's exchanging, or when he drops his phone number or whatever, or meet me at the pool or whatever.
Yeah, but so like that scene, I'm thinking the second time I watched it, like, okay, like this scene kind of makes sense because it's obviously somebody the students all know, right? Like they don't think anything of this strange guy walking through the fucking library because he belongs there. So you kind of know, it's a member of the faculty, or a student.
Right.
But I honestly, though, the creepy teacher, I can't think of his name, but the dude with the mustache.
Oh, the biology teacher?
Yeah, he was the one that, I mean, I had pegged as the killer, but I think that was like they were intentionally doing that, trying to make him look obviously like the killer when he wasn't.
Yeah, and the very first time I seen it, I was kind of directed to him, because I mean, biology teacher, this and that, but it's like they throw in the Willard character, the groundskeeper character,
right? Which was Popeye.
Like they're like, oh, we want you to think that this guy is the killer, and you totally think it's the other teacher, the one they're trying to pin it on, or make it look like he's doing it, and it's
the crazy groundskeeper guy.
Yeah,
Willard, yeah. And he was, I said Popeye, but he was, what's his name in the Popeye movie?
Oh, Bluto.
Bluto, yeah. I had to look it up because I'm like, man, I know that dude from somewhere else. And I looked him up and I'm like, oh, shit, yeah, he was Bluto in the Popeye movie with Robin Williams back then,
Yeah.
Which only came out like, maybe a couple years after this, so.
Yeah, no, he had,
and then he did nothing else, I guess, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe he just made his money. He's like, screw this. I'm over this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that, or he just wasn't a very good actor. I don't know, but.
Yeah, he really wasn't.
He just had that one look. And he always looked like he was on the verge of smiling. I don't know if you noticed that, but I was like, man, is this dude just like, is he smirking the whole time? Is he about to laugh because he knows how bad this fucking movie is and how bad all this dialogue is? I don't. Right.
Well, it would be hard to be on, I've never got to make a film, like a something that's, like this or anything, but it would be hard to be on set and be like, are you serious? You really want me to do this, And
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not pretending that I could be an actor, or I always used to think I'd be good at acting, but I don't know, maybe not. So
yeah, I always wanted to be a special effects artist. I never had any interest in being an actor or anything like that. But my interest was always like behind the scenes, the makeup and the filming and all that stuff. So
right. Be the next Tom Savini.
Yeah. Oh, that was my that was one of my big dreams, but hey, didn't come true.
But here we are hosting a podcast instead. I'm sure.
Yeah, talking about them.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to be making tons of money here in the next couple weeks. This thing just hasn't taken off yet.
Yeah, hey, it is what it is. Hey, at least hey, we're having fun.
Hey, we're doing something. I kind of miss the fact that normally we'd be drinking beer and I'm sitting here drinking electrolyte water, but
yeah, well, I'm drinking coffee, so.
Yeah. Well, it's a little early, I guess. I don't know. I got things to do today. Otherwise, I'd maybe mix together a Bloody Mary bright and early here, but
Oh God,
I
man.
do.
Yeah, I don't think I could drink this early. It's way too early for me. I wouldn't get shit done today.
Yeah, well, yeah, I wouldn't get anything done, but I've done it, so.
Oh, I've done it. I'm pretty worthless once I get the first one in me this early.
It's fine if I'm moving and going and doing stuff while I'm having that first drink, but if I'm laying around being a piece of shit and I have that first drink while being a piece of shit, I only become a bigger piece of shit.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. No. I'd be useless if I'm moving around, in like the afternoon mowing the lawn. I can drink, but if I'm just sitting around watching TV, I'm gonna be hammered in like 20 minutes.
Yep. It's gonna do nothing but induce a bunch of naps.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
Fall asleep to a bunch of shitty horror movies and take about 5 naps.
Right.
Basically my Sunday. I just described like 80% of my Sundays, but hey, that's what they're there for, though. I guarantee I'm going to be a useless piece of shit tomorrow, so.
Oh, yeah, I guarantee I am, too. I actually canceled everything this week. This is like the only thing that I am doing this week. After the week I've had, I'm like, nope, this is all I'm doing. So...
Well, it gives us, it gives you an excuse we can come up with a list of stuff to follow up this episode with. And, we'll have, maybe not wait 2 weeks before the next one again, or I don't even know where the hell we're at this point. The last one, I think we released like on Halloween or something, but.
Yeah. Hey, life happens, but.
Right. I was just going to mention go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I was just going to start talking about titties because there's actually plenty of them in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Some good ones, too, for a bunch of, no-name actresses in a no-name movie. I mean, hey, that blonde in the pool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's a good one. My favorite's the chick in the spandex, like the blue spandex pants running around topless during that whole scene. It's just the most ridiculous thing.
Oh, yeah. I like running. And actually... The producer of this film, when they was filming that dance scene, he actually wanted them all to be doing all the dance in the nude.
Well, that would have been a lot better.
It would have been a lot
because the movie's already fucking stupid. So what were you doing?
And I guess like a majority of the women that was in the background women in the scene. They were all down for it, but the main actress, the one who ended up getting slaughtered, she wouldn't take her clothes off, and she was actually a dance instructor, and she's like, "No, we don't dance in the nude." He's like, "Well, you should."
Right. So I guess, ironically, this movie's about a perverted little boy that goes on a murdering spree, all out of anger because he's a pervert, and his mom yelled at him for being a pervert. And apparently it was kind of like autobiographical if the director was wanting all these girls to just be naked for no fucking reason, then maybe he was working out some demons when he made this movie,
Hey, you never know. There was he had some hot chicks in this flick. The one that got her head cut off, the very first chick that was out laying in the lawn on the school grounds, she was a little hottie.
Yeah, and what was the deal? I mean, so she rides into the fucking giant mirror. Yeah. And there's the flashback to his mom breaking the mirror in the opening scene, which, that just happened 2 minutes ago. That was way too early to flash back to that, so that was pretty fucking stupid. But
well, that was totally dumb. It's like, okay, what was the purpose of that thing? Did it make him go on a killing spree? I mean, it was just it was fucking retarded.
I know. I was like, well, are they gonna? I thought maybe it was gonna be something where, if you break a mirror, it's bad luck and he kills you. I don't know. I mean, that's equally as stupid, but I thought that there was gonna be some purpose to the mirror breaking thing. But then the rest of the movie, it's just like, no, never mind. That was just maybe that was the route they were gonna go, and then just decided it was stupid, and they didn't have money to go reshoot anything. So, well, it's already there. It's already in the movie. Just keep it going.
Right. And this movie actually, this had almost the exact same budget as John Carpenter's Halloween.
Yeah.
like $300,000 or something like that. And honestly, for $300,000 back then, I mean, even with Halloween, that's a good chunk of money. But
For all the more they did with it, I mean, it's not like there was special effects or crazy locations they shot from.
Right, but they worked well with what they had. I mean, they had to secure a campus to shoot on and stuff like that. So they did okay. A lot of the chainsaw scenes, when it shows the chainsaw cutting through flesh and stuff.
Yeah,
they actually used pigs from a slaughterhouse, and the entrails are actually real pig entrails. So that's a little fact that I found out. So,
I mean, it is gory, in the sense of, I mean, it's not overly gory, but it's a pretty bloody movie,
Oh yeah, yeah. One of my favorite kills is the chick in the elevator that gets her arms cut off.
Right.
I
that
love
scene
it.
Cracks me up. She's standing there, and it's like he walks up, and she's just like, "Oh, hey!" And that's another scene where I realized, like, oh, she knows him, like it's someone she's familiar with. So because she's just like, "Oh, hey," blah blah blah. But then gets in the elevator, and he's got a giant fucking chainsaw. It's like, you didn't think it was weird that this guy was? I mean, I know that you know him, but like I know a lot of people that there's very few out of all the people I know that if they showed up to the elevator at the same time as me and they're wearing a black trench coat and holding a fucking chainsaw, I'm going to be like, dude, you know what, man? Go ahead. I need the exercise. I'm just going to take the stairs. I'm not getting that fucking elevator with them,
Well, I always assumed that he had it like maybe tucked under his trench coat.
It's a pretty big fucking chainsaw, though.
Yeah, that's a really big fucking chainsaw. I mean, it would be hard to conceal that, but I just, I don't know. That's just always what I thought. He maybe had it under his trench coat, but that would still be a huge bulge.
Yeah,
that's what she said.
Right. Hey, it turns out he's happy to see me.
Yeah, right.
Well, I kind of wondered, too, if what hurt this film, other than the obvious reasons, the bad acting and the sorry-ass plot and everything, but, coming in with the chainsaw thing, I mean, it's going to be compared to Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, yeah.
And it just seems like it was a bad move. I appreciate the fact that there's kind of some gorier scenes in this and, than like the Texas Chainsaw movies as far as the first couple that had come out by this time, or well, really just the first one, because I guess the second one came out like right at about the same time. I don't know the release dates and whatnot exactly, but but I guess you're just comparing it to the first one. So I almost wonder if they just thought like, oh, we should steal this from Texas Chainsaw Massacre and kind of make like a slasher film with a chainsaw,
Right. They kind of left, I mean, they didn't really go into the family thing or anything like that. I mean, he's just a lone killer.
Yeah, it's just a slasher and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. And they did, I mean, they went full on gore, where Texas Chainsaw was more of an illusional kill, they went
so
with
tense
full
you were
on
scared gore. And
Yeah, exactly. And this one, I was never scared watching this movie. I remember being up, in the middle of the night watching this movie while my parents were asleep, and it's like, I was never scared. It never creeped me out. It was just good fun, blood and guts and gore. It was, right. I don't know. It was, and it's honestly, it's almost kind of laughable at times, Yeah,
it's silly. It's designed to just be a fun movie. Although, I mean, I don't know that they designed it that way. They probably thought they were making something scary, but I think there's a lot of movies from back then that...
Well, and Christopher George and Linda Day George, those are the two big actors, that are in this movie. And they did a ton of movies together, all in this genre and other, genres. But they were kind of like that day's Bruce Bruce Campbell and some female actress that were in everything. You know what I mean? All the B movies. So yeah, they just making their living off shitty movies.
Right.
Being in shitty movies.
Hey, I'd do it.
Oh,
no shame in that
absolutely.
shit.
Yeah. No, why not?
Yeah, the ending of this movie was kind of a turd too. It just is so
Dude, I was
anticlimactic.
I remember this movie. Okay, so this movie hooked me. Because you're seeing chainsaws going through all these women, cutting heads off, arms, legs, and the whole premise of it is he's rebuilding, this woman or whatever, and I'm assuming it's in the image of his dead mother that he murdered when he was a child or whatever,
Right.
but. And it's a jigsaw, get it? He's
Right.
putting a puzzle together, he's taking all these pieces of women. But yeah, man, that ending. Okay. They could have left it where they caught him and they killed him and they shot him in the head. He's getting ready to cut off Linda Day George's feet, because that's the final piece, When the hand reaches up, though, and grabs the dude's junk. Come on, man. Why did you add that?
Yeah, it was stupid. It was like them trying to do their own, like Friday the 13th, Jason jumping up out of the water kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
Except it just made no fucking sense.
Dumbness overload.
Right. Speaking of dumb, I think we got to talk about the scene that was probably, as ridiculous as this movie is, definitely the most ridiculous scene was the fucking Asian dude out jogging that jumps the girl.
All right. I just found this out this morning. I was actually doing a little research on this. So I don't remember the guy's name, and I don't remember if he was like a director or something, but he was actually, while he was doing this film, he was also doing a bunch of kung fu films. And so he threw that in there as just an homage to Bruce Lee. No, there was no reason for it.
It made no sense.
It was just, okay, I'm going to throw this Asian guy in doing all this kung fu stuff that jumps up on Linda George, in this alley. Okay, whatever, it's like.
Then he gets up. Oh, sorry, I just had some bad chop suey. What?
Terrible. Dumb.
You ate some bad food, so you lost your shit and jumped a woman. Tried to do some karate shit on some poor innocent chick. Like, I don't know if I've ever ate that bad of food. I've had some questionable situations here,
Right. And then just for no reason, he falls down on the ground, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And then the Kendall, the guy on the motorcycle, comes around the corner, and it's like somebody he knows or the karate teacher at the school, and it's like, okay, well, why the fuck what is going on here?
Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out why the hell he left. He's laying there in bed with that chick who's just horny as all hell. And he's like, oh, I just see some, see this older lady walking down the street. I'm going to go. It's like, you had a sure thing laying there.
Yeah. Then you're just going to get up and leave? What?
Yeah, go put the effort in later. Like, take care of that one. And
right.
There's always tomorrow, buddy. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. And dude, I love the tennis court scene where she's in the locker room. That's a great kill. Yeah. That is a great kill. I love that one.
Yeah, I don't know if I have. I think the elevator is probably my favorite, just because the scene where he actually hacks her right arm off is just like, I don't know, funny. It's like, it's so gory and ridiculous though too. I don't know why. It just looked really funny to me. So.
You see the chainsaw go up and you see it like cutting through flesh, and then her arm falls off, and then just blood. Gallons of blood spray everywhere. But this is just a fun flick. You don't want to put any thought into this movie. This is one of those literally, get up and, drink a couple cold ones and just watch this one and give it no thought whatsoever. Just pure gore eye candy. That's all it is. Don't think too much about the storyline because it's paper thin. You're not gonna. The storyline sucks.
Yeah, I mean, really, to sum it up, titties, chainsaw, blood. That's it.
Yeah.
And what else do you really need?
Yeah. And no, this is it's a fun movie. It's actually, this movie has been banned in a few countries as well.
Really?
And I don't know if it still is. I haven't researched that far into it. Instead, it's one of those movies I grew up with. It's a shitty movie. It's fun though, and it's entertainment. That's all it is. It's one of those that you tell your friends to watch, and they're either going to be pissed off at you or love you for it. You know?
Yeah, you wasted my time, motherfucker.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, why did you tell me to watch that piece of shit? I've had that response to several of them. I mean, yeah, I've had a few movies that I've shown people where they're like, what the fuck? Why did you like that? It's like, what? Because it's fucking great. Not stupid. It's like, what do you mean it's stupid? I mean, of course it is. It's supposed to be, but that's what's fucking great.
Right, and honestly, like 95% of my friends, I'll be on my social media or something, Facebook or this or that. And I'll get a message or they'll send me a link to some way obscure movie. It's obscure to them. I'm like, oh, I own that.
Yeah.
I
have that
They're
on
like,
VHS.
Have you seen this piece of shit? Dude, I got the movie poster of that.
Yeah. I've got it on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I love this movie. It's so bad, so shitty, so crappy, horrible acting. The soundtrack, they used one band to do the entire soundtrack, and it's not. I mean, they tried to make it creepy. It's not creepy music. It's kind of dumb at some points. The disco they're trying to do or whatever, and the dance scene. It's just awful. It's just awful all around. And I give it a 10 on the awfulness scale.
Maybe that's something we need to incorporate into this show. Is I have an awfulness scale, a titty scale. I don't know. Might have to start working in some different ways of rating these movies.
Oh, yeah.
Other than the boring ass 4 out of 5 stars type thing, or
I kind of hope that horror fans, for people who actually are listening and like what we're doing, and if they haven't heard of it, I hope they, kind of
check it
research
out.
it. Yeah, check it out, and
right.
Let us know what you think. Is it as bad as we say, or is it as good? What's the, yeah, I don't know. I kind of hope it inspires somebody to go and just check them out. I do. When I hear somebody talk about me, I'm like, well, I got to hear that, or I got to watch that now. Dario Argento's Demons. Wow. This one is another one of those, mom and pop trolling the horror aisles looking for a movie, and it had a cool cover,
Yep.
And I found this one and I fell in love with it. I've seen this movie at least 100 times. It's dumb. And it's just like Pieces. I mean, the storyline is stupid thin. There's so many errors in it. Something will happen, then later on, you're like, you see the same thing, and you're like, well, that ain't it at all. How how it happened? Okay, this person's a demon, but okay, why are they in the background with no makeup on? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I saw this one back, I want to say, I was in high school. I rented it on VHS, so at least I saw it long enough ago. I originally watched it on VHS, and honestly, like, I think the main reason I ended up renting it was because it was when I was really, getting into like Motley Crue and Rat and all the, I was just really into all the hair bands and shit. And I saw the soundtrack, like I saw that Motley Crue.
Yeah.
And, it was like, Motley Crue, Rick Springfield, Billy Idol.
Saxon.
Yeah, there was...
Billy Idol.
Yeah,
there
was
was
a rock and roll soundtrack. And I thought, man, I gotta watch this movie,
Right.
I love horror movies and look at the soundtrack. So that's what turned me onto it, because I hadn't seen Suspiria yet, so I wasn't familiar with Argento's work,
Right. Of course, Suspiria is like his, that's his huge one. That's the one everybody knows.
Right. Yeah, and I saw that, way after Demons. Which it's funny because then now, obviously, seeing more of his work, it's kind of interesting because, Demons doesn't seem, other than the way it looks, it's not like his other work. It's nothing like Suspiria as far as the same kind of movie or anything, but he always has kind of this bright color, like a Technicolor look to his stuff, which Suspiria came out in the time where it's like, you just would figure that that's what it's going to look like, and that's why that looks that way. But then, like, Demons comes out mid-'80s, and it still kind of looks like that,
Yeah. But it's, this is one of the, it's a grainy movie too, though. You know what I mean? It's shot well. They really did I think a good job. The effects in it, they're pretty cool.
Yeah. There's some bloody, gory stuff that's pretty cool looking.
Yeah. And there's a couple scenes in here where people are transforming into demons, and I would almost, not quite, but almost put it up to Eddie's transformation in The Howling.
Yeah.
Which
is one of the greatest, but
that transformation scene and American Werewolf in London,
right?
And I believe both of those are Stan Winston creations, but I don't know who the effects artist was on this, but they, the fingernails and the teeth, and they did a real good. You could tell they didn't have a lot. They some of the stuff was actually painted, but they did it really well, I think.
Yeah. Well, and that hooker that, man, the first one that turns,
Yeah.
And she's got like that zit thing. It was like, man, dude, that was disgusting. Like, I don't care how many times I watch it. It's hard to watch that scene.
Yeah.
None of the rest of it's gory, but doesn't bother me. But just, man, something about it, just that. Like I'm almost kind of feeling sick just thinking about it, dude. Because it's like it just reminds you of those fucking zit popping videos and shit that people are always
Dr. Pimple Popper, what the fuck?
Yeah, like who wants to watch that shit, And that was, at least this was fake, but man, it was so disgusting, man. Just the shit coming out of there, like this green, oozy, pussy.
Yeah, no, that was, I just watched this, and we was chatting the other night on Messenger, and I'd mentioned I just watched The Fly.
Oh yeah.
And I hadn't seen that one in a few years. I love it. I've seen it so many times, but I forgot how absolutely gross that movie really is.
Dude, that was like, I watched that when I was a kid, when it was fairly new. And man, yeah, it was gross.
When he's talking about eating the donuts, okay, well, and the fly, they can't digest, so they.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. I think this scene might take this pimple popping scene might take the cake, though. I don't know, but
yeah, no,
man, the dialogue in this was like so bad that it's fun, though. It's like, I just laughed through the whole thing, and the black pimp dude, oh my god.
Dude,
it's just like,
that guy is so awesome. And I actually, the other night I I'd never seen it before. I'm like, I'm going to watch Demons 2.
Dude, I almost was going to watch that this morning, and then I just didn't get to it because I've never seen it either. I forgot it existed, and
Right.
I've seen this first one several times, and just never watched the sequel for some reason.
But I think that black guy's in that movie.
He is, because I looked it up to see who the cast was in the second one, and I was like, well, how the fuck's he in it again?
Right, but he's like a weightlifter, and I watched it, and God, it's terrible too. I mean, it's worse than this one.
Yeah.
Bobby Rhodes is the guy that we're talking about.
Yeah,
and
it's weird because he's one of those that it seems like you've seen him in more shit, but he really hasn't been in that much.
Yeah, not really. He, I mean, his list is, well, he was in Leviathan.
Yeah, that's a great movie as far as shitty.
Yeah.
I loved that as a kid, and going back and watching it as an adult, it's like, yeah, it's still pretty good, but it is kind of a piece of shit. It wasn't quite as good as I thought it was when I was a kid, but still cool.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, that one. I need to watch that one again just because I barely remember it.
Yeah, well, there's another episode idea. See, we just got too many of them.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Hence doing double features now, trying to cram 2 movies into one episode because we got too much to watch and too much to talk about. But yeah, that dude's funny, man. Just right out the gate, it's just funny. Just the way he's talking to his fucking hose, We'll just call it that. I don't know what the PC term is for a pimp and his hose, but we're gonna just refer to them as the hose. But
right.
But he's just like, sit down, shut up.
and I like that they threw him in the take charge position.
Yeah,
they
you almost thought he was going to be the hero.
Yeah, and then nope, not gonna.
Right.
And I'll tell you what. Ever since I first discovered this movie, I think the usherette chick is so smoking hot.
Which one was that? I'm sorry.
The usherette, the chick with the long red hair.
Oh yeah, the creepy chick. Like, you almost think at the beginning she's gonna be like she's in on whatever's going on, but then nothing really comes of it. But she's like super creepy and has like a creepy look on her face the whole time, and
and like trolling the flashing, putting her flashlight on. People's got her feet on the seat in the theater and stuff. And
you think I guess she just was a bitch, but I assumed she was gonna be like in cahoots with the metal face guy, the dude with the metal face that we still don't really know what the fuck that was all about. But
right, he's at the beginning and the very end, and
he's like the one that I guess is responsible for maybe bringing the mask in the movie, and I don't know, but
and what was up with that Phantom of the Opera fucking mask he was wearing? Is like half Phantom of the Opera and half Terminator. What the hell was that? It
was weird. Didn't make any sense. And just handing out tickets in the subway. Like, yeah, people. That's totally approachable. Like, that motherfucker hands me a ticket to anything, I'm not going.
Yeah. No, this is not cool. And she's like, oh, what's up with the mask? Is this a promotion for the movie? And he doesn't say anything, just walks away. I'd be like, well, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, fuck you. Throw the ticket down and leave. Instead, she's like, oh, hey, girlfriend, you want to go to this fucking creepy movie? And some creep in the subway gave me this ticket.
And what was up with the whole... I to this day, I still don't understand. They're like, they build it up like, okay, so this is a theater. Nobody knows about this theater. They draw on that several times throughout the film. Oh, where's this at? Well, I've never heard of that theater and stuff. But yet, like, normal people find it. What is up?
Yeah, it's right downtown with a big fucking light on the front of it, but nobody knew where it was.
Right, exactly. So, what was the whole point of that storyline? That was, I don't know if they was trying to lead in a different direction on that or what.
Yeah. Or what was the point of those fucking cokehead punks that were driving around? Like, why? They showed up to basically accomplish nothing. Yeah.
It was like, okay, do we just need extra bodies to,
right. Well, and then it was funny, too, because it's like, okay, there was several chicks in this movie that were hot, and you show the titty of the ugliest fucking girl in the movie. That chick looked like a fucking pig got smashed with an iron right in her fucking face or something. Like, she just was like, not cute, and you show us her fucking boob. And then only one of them. It's like, so, you know, I don't know. That's stupid. Although I will say that seeing that when I was younger, it made me want to try snorting coke off of a nipple, but you know,
right.
That intrigued the teenage Brent, but now I'm just looking at it going, yeah, but she's ugly. Like,
yeah, she's not even attractive or anything, you know, and yeah, that was just totally pointless. That whole little addition into the film, these punk rockers cruising around doing cocaine.
Yeah.
You know, what the fuck was that? Yeah. Why?
And then they tell the cops, fuck you, and run off. Like, what? And then they run into a theater of all places. Let's go in this theater.
Yeah, that nobody can find
for
some reason.
No one knows what this is or where it's at.
Yeah, and you know, they got some panning shots of like the outside of the theater, you know, and it's like, oh, these people are running, you know, these people trapped inside this theater, you know, with the demons, and they're trying to get out of this theater. Why didn't they just run upstairs and jump out the windows that are all lit up at the front of the building? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it wouldn't have been that hard to get out of there.
No, not at all.
The best part is when they break into the other room and then there's nothing and they freak out and it's like, well, so what? I mean, you found another room and you can't get out. You fucking couldn't get out before.
Yeah, right. Why are you? Yeah.
But the best part about that whole thing was, I don't remember exactly how they say it, but it's like, oh, sounds like there's another room over there. It's like, well, it's either another room or outside. I mean, what the fuck do you think there's going to be on the other side of that wall?
Right. Either another room or outside.
Yeah, I mean, the same room? How does that work?
And, okay, and my biggest, I love the irony of having a blind man with a hot chick at a movie theater.
Yeah, who's cheating on him. Well, it ended up being his daughter, though, right?
Because you know, I always assumed she was, but
because later he says something that it sounded like it was
when he finds her body or whatever.
Yeah, maybe. I'm kind of drawing a blank because the whole time it's like I'm thinking that she's just cheating on him with this other dude that she's making out with and stuff, and the demon, you know, fucking strangles him and yada 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 with the rope and everything. And so I just thought she was like taking her blind husband to the theater so she could go and cheat on him. But then, yeah, like later in the movie, there's just something he says specifically in the dialogue, and I should have wrote it down, I guess, but that I was like, oh, fuck, it's his daughter. And I didn't even catch it until seeing it, you know, again.
Honestly, I don't think if I've even ever caught it. So I'm glad you brought that up. Now I'm going to have to watch that.
I know,
again.
and you think I should have taken notes and written stuff like that down, but, you know, it's a reason for people to watch it themselves. I'm not going to give everybody everything. Come on, put some work in. You don't get to just listen to this podcast and enjoy it. You have to
do your own homework.
Man. Yeah. If you want the facts, then fucking buy a book on fucking Argento's demons. I'm sure there's one out there. Probably not, but
Amazon. I'm sure Amazon has it.
There's a book specifically on this fucking movie. You never know, man.
And okay, so the helicopter crash into the.
How convenient! There was a helicopter on the roof that just crashed into the fucking theater, and the two pilots happened to be dead. Like, how did they die? The demons never got out up to the roof yet. I mean,
right? Well, no, actually, they did. The whole outside world when they got out, when the two heroes, the guy and the chick, get out, the whole world's infected.
Well, yeah, I remember there was the scene where they look out the window and there's the guy like across the street in the window or whatever, and
oh yeah, yep.
But there wasn't any on the roof, though. That's what I'm saying.
No,
wherever that,
other than the man with the iron mask,
right? Yeah. So maybe, I guess maybe he killed the pilots. I don't know. I guess maybe in my head, that helicopter was just sitting on the roof, waiting to take off or something, and they were
That's-
killed. And I don't know. Why the hell would a helicopter
be on the roof of a movie theater?
Yeah, well, because the way that it fell through the fucking ceiling, it doesn't lead you to believe it was a crash. It was like it was just sitting there and it just fell through the ceiling. It wasn't like the
it
helicopter
came straight down. Like it didn't crash into the building or anything.
Right. So what was his intention there? I wonder, because if he was going for a helicopter crash, that was fucking terrible execution.
It was terrible execution, but I think they had to have a way to kill the demons inside. Because remember, they hit the propeller, or they tried to fire it up,
chopping them all up and shit.
And what's funny is, if you watch it, the propeller's like 5 foot above their heads, but yet when it shows it spinning, it cuts their stomachs open.
Right. Like they were levitating up to the blade.
Right.
Well, dude, I give him props for the whole, motorcycle and fucking sword thing.
Samurai
sword. It's like, man, that's pretty fucking awesome. Stupid. I don't know,
Right. Well, right at the very beginning, when everybody's entering the theater, and for some reason, there's this motorcycle prop in the lobby of this theater.
Right.
You're like, well, that's going to be used later.
Yeah. Yeah. Whole lot of nonsense, but well, and I always find it funny in these movies too, because like the friend that gets infected and he's like, kill me, and he cuts his head off with a samurai sword. Why are these guys always so hesitant to, like, you've already seen what happens when they turn. Like we're an hour and 10 minutes into this movie at this point. You've seen all these other people get bit or whatever and turn into the fucking demon zombie things. Like, look, Kenny, if we're trapped in a fucking theater and everybody starts turning into demons and shit, and then you start turning and you tell me, kill me, I'm not going to sit there and waste any fucking time, dude. I'm not going to, like, let you turn full into a demon. I'm going to chop your head off, like...
Then.
By the time you're done finishing the sentence,
hey
could
man,
you kill
just
me?
swing.
Yeah, your head's already going to be gone. Like, it's like, sorry, dude.
Yeah. No, but they had to have another transformation, I'm guessing, on screen, just to show added gore,
Right. Well, and I give the one chick props, man, the brunette with the curly hair. She looks kind of like Megan Fox.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the one that has the mental breakdown in the room or whatever.
Yeah, she like faints and then becomes a demon, and it's like, well, that was really consistent considering none of the other ones fainted, but okay.
But no, you're right though. She does. She looks like Megan Fox. Yeah. With big curly hair.
Yeah, bummed me out that she had to go and die, but And then
actually, I thought I liked her better than the leading chick.
Yeah, who then ends up turning
at the very end.
Yeah, they do like the whole kind of not really post credits, kind of like during credits, post credits kind of thing. I'm not really sure. Man, that's maybe one of the oldest movies I can remember doing that, unless I'm just completely forgetting something else. But, that was pretty clever. I mean, as far as that ending goes, like you think they're riding off into the sunset, and then that chick just turns out of fucking nowhere. But the best part about it is she's like, oh, I have this scratch on my neck. And then there's no transformation. In a split second, she's full on demon with a huge fucking teeth. And
what's funny is the boyfriend, the other hero, the guy that rode the motorcycle with the samurai sword,
right.
He actually got scratched by a demon, but he didn't turn. Because he's got that big scratch on his arm.
Right.
But yet she gets this little scratch and full blown demon,
Yeah.
So
I was bummed that the chick, the blonde in the Jeep, was only in the movie for that short period of time. Because fuck, dude, she was smoking. Terrible actor. She might have been the worst. She only had like 2 lines, and they were delivered worse than any other line in the whole fucking movie. But I was watching it this morning. Since I was up so early, I just pounded, both these movies out. And the old lady was sitting there. We're drinking our coffee, and I'm watching this end scene, and I'm like, man, she sure is cute, but God, she can't fucking act. It was just terrible. Like, there's more ammo on the floor. Whatever she says to her little brother, and just the way she's holding the fucking gun, it's like, Jesus, man. You can tell she's never shot a real gun in real life because she didn't even know how to act like she was holding the fucking gun.
You think when they filmed that, they was just like, fuck it, we just need some kind of ending. Just let's get this done. You know what I mean? They were over it.
Find some old guy that looks like Dr. Loomis. Get some hot fucking chick that is probably his daughter, even though he looks, I don't know, he must have had her way later in life. I don't fucking know what was going on.
Right, like probably, in his 50s.
Yeah, they probably actually weren't related. Maybe they just were,
just survivors. Right, and they had the kid, and then, of course, they had to have them standing up in the back of the Jeep, or, so they could do the and if you look at the moon changes between shots.
Oh, yeah.
It's like crescent and full and crescent and full. So.
Now I got to watch it again and notice that crazy shit.
Yeah.
Or I don't. But
yeah, right. Maybe the next time, in a year or two, if I decide to watch this again, I'll.
Right. I'm sure I will. I mean, it's fun because it is just kind of like it almost moves just like a music video, It's like a rock and roll slaughter fest, I mean, it doesn't have to make sense because it's fun enough.
It starts out, and it's the chick in the subway and stuff, and the guy, gives her the ticket. The guy with the mask gives her a ticket. Okay, and she tells her friend, "Oh, let's go to this movie theater we never heard of." Okay, and then they end up going, and then they're watching this film, and of course, what's going on in the film that they're watching is actually happening in real life, but the movie doesn't really start anything until Motley Crue's "Save Our Souls" from the Girls, Girls, Girls album kicks in. Once that song kicks in, this movie is fun.
Yeah, that was from Theater of Pain. Sorry to correct you, but
oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Here I am, a Crew fanatic, and I was screw that.
Say, I can't let you screw that one up, man.
Yeah, man,
that song's fucking
it's early.
stupid,
I'm going to blame it on being up early.
Yeah, that song, dude. It's like, I don't know. It's not a good song either, but
it works for the film.
It does, actually. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm glad they wasted a shittier song, But as far as I'm concerned, most of Theater of Pain's kind of a turd. But other than I think Keep Your Eye on the Money is a fucking gem. I think that song.
Yeah,
is a cool song.
Keep Your Eye on the Money and Use It or Lose It. I like those two songs.
I like Use It or Lose It other than I think the lyrics are terrible. The fucking chorus is just atrocious. But musically it's badass. It's like those two songs, like Tommy plays his fucking ass off and and Keep Your Eye on the Money's killer, but like use It or Lose It, it's like it just needs better lyrics. I mean,
yeah. Well, it was kind of the equivalent of like Red Hot was on Shout the Devil. That was their Red Hot for that album, the double bass, I mean, they had to have a rocker on there, and it was like, oh, and at the time it was cool, but looking back, it's
yeah. Well, it's like Girls, 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 man. That record, it's when I first heard it, I thought it was cool just because the guitar tone was so raunchy and Mick just sounded heavier on it. But man, half those songs are fucking terrible.
Yeah. Oh,
but
yeah.
Some of their coolest stuff's on there too. So, but here I am, slowly trying to turn this into a music podcast. What were we talking about again?
Right.
Well, hey, you got to go off topic every once in a while. It makes it more interesting.
Well, and we're good at it.
Yeah.
But so Dario Argento's Demons. It's just a fun ride. It is. It's one of those movies, and I will always highly rate a terrible movie by if I can get home in the afternoon from my job and pop it on and lay down and take a nap to it. Oh yeah, that's the winner in my book.
Right. Yeah, it's one of those where like if you fall asleep, you're not too heartbroken because you could wake up at any point and not feel like you missed anything.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not gonna wake up and go, shit, what happened? And you're not gonna rewind back a half hour and figure it out. You're just gonna finish the movie wherever the hell you fell asleep at and fuck it, call it a day.
Yeah, well, and it's one of those, I've seen it so many times. It's just it's almost like a comfort level. Like, I ain't even got to think about this. My mind could shut off and just,
Right. Right. Yep. Well, hey, that's what some of these movies are good for, and others, they're masterpieces. This is more like a I don't
A
know.
luster piece. A luster piece.
Right.
Yeah,
man,
no.
it was fun revisiting that movie, and it was cool to check out something new, watching pieces, and
Yeah, and it actually, it finally, reviewing this movie made me watch Demons 2. I'm not proud of that fact, but hey, it had some cool effects in it too. So I mean, it's not a terrible one to check out. Hey, it's got some good gore in it, just like this one. This one's way better, but hey,
yeah.
it is what it is.
Well, on that note, man, I suppose we can wrap it up, and thanks to everyone that listened again, or if you're new, thanks for joining us, and go back and listen to the previous two, and yeah, like we mentioned before on the Facebook page, let us know any requests, any movies you want us to watch and talk about and do an episode on. We'll obviously honor those requests and everything and do an episode on them, and no promises on our opinions. Thanks for listening, and hey, until next time.
Yeah, later.
If you are thinking about starting your own podcast, look no further than Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout made it so simple that even I managed to figure this out and put together my own podcast. Once you have all the gear you need to get started, Buzzsprout makes the rest of it super easy. Everything from getting you started on monetizing your podcast so you can make money, because who doesn't like to make a little bit of extra coin? And on top of that, the best part about Buzzsprout is you can get started and try it out for free. So head over to buzzsprout.com today and make your podcasting dreams come true.